That is Wilbur and Orville Wright, inventors of the airplane. We are here at Deeds Point along the Great Miami River, and we're going to go for a walk today. Yeah, we're going for a walk today because the bike is a little messed up. I need to replace the lower bracket. We're going to walk here along the Great Miami River. To Triangle Park. Or at least Island Park, I should say. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to see if any of my regulars notice anything different. It's probably about, I think, say 90 degrees right now. Very humid. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to wait for one of my regular viewers to notice something a little bit different. Hopefully they notice. Hopefully it's working. Hey Ray, how are you? That guy on the bike looked just like John Hicks. John Hicks is a pretty known Los Angeles YouTuber. He does a lot of, not really, well, I guess you could say cycling videos, but he rides e-bikes around the city of LA and such. The water level is maybe a little bit down. I don't know. I'm not too sure like what our water amounts are, or rain amounts are for the year so far. I think I did see that they said that we were like a few inches below average. Yeah, I can remember it being a little bit higher. I think what they did is they've made dams and stuff to try to control the water flow and level. Hey, you're welcome. Yeah, it's a little bit warm. It's not really so much that it's too warm. It's just very humid, very sticky. What game? The Dragons game? Or the Reds game? I don't know what part. You live in Kentucky, right, Ray? My family's from Jackson County, Kentucky. Jackson County. I got some family in Laurel County. I have some. I think my stepbrothers and my ex-stepmother live in Richmond. I guess since my dad divorced the woman, I guess those people are no longer my stepbrothers. But Lexington, Kentucky has gotten pretty big over the years. Yeah, I haven't been in Lexington in years, but it is definitely growing. Only 2 viewers? Come on now. Yeah, I get it. This isn't exactly going to be very exciting, because we're just walking along the river here. This is more or less a test. Anyway, here we are at McCook Field, cradle of aviation innovation, circa 1917. City of Dayton, the Ohio History Connectione. Oh yeah, definitely water around here. But this is where we are, somewhere around there. Gee, there used to be a plaque. There used to be a plaque right here that actually. Now that don't look like the city came here, and that doesn't look like the city took the pole out that had the plaque on it. That looks like somebody stole it for the aluminum. This looks like aluminum. Somebody came along and stole it. But anyway, this is McCook Field. McCook Field is it was a naval base, or not a naval base, an Air Force base. One of the original and first Air Force bases in the United States. And this is where a lot of military aviation began. Yeah, somebody took the plaque. It's wild. There was a story on the news, I think a week or so ago, about people stealing the wire off of the light poles and stuff, utility poles. That's just wild. Anyway, you would never know it today that this was once a military air base. Today it's just ball fields. Yeah, probably because it's very humid. Oh yeah. There's a YouTuber, I can't think of his name, but he shares a lot of videos of Dayton in the 60s, some videos from the 70s, and 80s. And it's just really interesting to see downtown back in the 80s. It reminds me of just how busy it used to really be down there. The contrast between then and now is just crazy. I've seen footage of downtown Dayton in the 50s and 60s. And if you didn't know any better, you would think you were in New York City or looking at New York City. A couple of people swimming. Not supposed to swim there, but I think they're safe. The water isn't too high. The river isn't too high now. Sometimes when the river gets high, these little islands you won't see. See if I'm putting my hand behind the camera here because it gives me a better contrast to see the No, my bike didn't give out on me. There's some softball going on over there. No, it didn't completely give out on me, but I need to replace the lower bracket. The bearings, I need to replace the bearings. But we've done walking videos in the past, and there should be something different between those past walking live streams and this one. I'm gonna wait and see if anybody can guess what it is. Here, we're gonna walk up here. Where's all the grasshoppers? When I was a kid, you go walking through this little section here along the river, and them big giant green grasshoppers would be hopping left and right. And if you pick one up, it'll spit on you. True. And plus, you know, the little slower pace of walking, it allows you to kind of take in more detail. Well, previous walking live streams have been pretty bumpy. If you go back and look at the previous walking, well, actually, I put all my previous live streams as private because they all kind of sucked. They're all kind of bouncy. Shouldn't be too bouncy today. So that was Helena Street we just crossed there. That's Island Park. Straight ahead there. And that's the band shelter, or band shell. Good luck, bro.
What's up?
Good luck.
I appreciate that.
Hello, Krishna. Yeah, I've seen Bucky's, the story of Bucky's trying to go after poor little business. No, we're going to go down here and sit in the shade for a hot minute. From what I understand, that business changed its name to Beavers in 2021. Now, I don't know the full story, but I have a hunch that sometime around that period, Bucky's had probably announced that they would be building a location in that area. And I think Beavers probably wanted to capitalize on that, and they changed their name and their logo. But I don't see it being nowhere near close to what Bucky's name or logo is. So, oh yeah, I just seen a story here in Dayton, Ohio, where Governor Mike DeWine extended some dude's death row punishment or whatever. Well, this right here is a pretty good spot to take a chill because it's shady. I always like these trees. I'm not too sure what kind of trees those are. But I always like the way they kind of drape, drape down. Hell, we're just gonna walk through this way. I'm not sure. I think this is the Stillwater River. This is the Stillwater River, and the Great Miami is across the way over there. I don't know. I just seen a story where a guy was supposed to be euthanized. We're gonna go ahead up here. I don't want to walk in all this grass. The guy was supposed to have been euthanized. I don't know when, but he got an extension until 2030. This is a North Bend or River Bend. Used to be a street. This used to be actually a street for traffic when I was a kid. Oh yeah, walking is definitely good for the cardio. But so is bike riding. The problem is, I can't bring a smooth live stream on the bike right now. Oh, I'm sure there's definitely some beaver dams along the river here. Should we go find a beaver dam and let them know Bucky's might try to sue them? I think the Bucky's beaver looks like Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks. I was always under the impression if somebody creates a trademark, say, of a beaver, and this beaver is wearing a red shirt and a red cap, if I or another company creates a similar logo, they can almost completely copy the art. The thing is that would separate the trademark infringement would be if they changed the red shirt and hat to a blue shirt and hat. But I guess the argument is the representation. Nobody's going to mistake that beaver from Beaver's Market as being Buc-ee's. I mean, how can you mistake the two businesses? One has 0 gas pumps. The other has 100. One has 10 parking spaces. The other has 100. Hundreds. How do you bring a business to a town called Beaver Creek and then complain about the fact they have businesses with beavers? What are they going to do next? Go after the school? Isn't the high school the Beavers? Hey, Carl. How about you? I'm doing great. It's hot here. Hopefully it cooled down for you guys over there across the pond, because it hasn't let up here. I don't know. I guess we had a few tolerable days. Problem is, around here, once the humidity comes, it always gets really hot. Hopefully you guys notice something different from previous live streams. Hopefully it's noticeable. I don't know. I won't know until I watch the replay myself, but whew. What's the average temperature in London around this time of the year? Probably like 80, 82, low 80s, or in Fahrenheit, that is. If you look up the average monthly temperatures in Dayton, Ohio, it tells you that the average daytime temperature, say in the month of July, the average temperature is like 84. But if you really look into the recent records, it would show that it's probably a little bit higher than that. You mean more stable as in less bouncy? Wow, that's a lot of people. It's crazy to think how a heat wave can affect so many people. And a lot of those people were probably elderly. Yeah, it should be less bouncy. I went on a Facebook Marketplace, which is something I never use anymore because it's full of bullshit. I went on Facebook Marketplace and found a smartphone gimbal. which is a very good gimbal, even though this particular smartphone gimbal, or you can call it a stabilizer, it came out in 2021, but even by today's standards, this particular model is still top notch. But for 30 bucks, I couldn't pass it up. Thank you. I'm glad it's looking better. Yeah, I think it's crazy that, I think global warming is real for sure, because it's not, uncommon to have a heat wave, but the extent of these heat waves, not just here in the United States, but all around the world, the extent of these heat waves and the temperatures that are being produced. Really, that's awesome. We have a saying here in the United States, the weatherman, well, especially in Florida anyway, the weatherman has the easiest job. A Florida weatherman, all he has to do is basically say, it's going to be warm today and it might rain. That's all you need to know. The good thing about this smartphone gimbal, or you could also, as mentioned, refer to it as a stabilizer, this has a joystick, and I can pan left and to the right, up, down. And when I want to reset it, I just double tap this button, boom, and it sets itself right back. I mean, it may be. It may be. I've never been to England, although I would like to. Honestly, I would, if I could, I would like to visit every country, or at least just about every country. Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland, Russia, Ukraine, Bosnia, and of course, Lithuania. My family migrated from Lithuania through Poland and Germany before they ended up here in the United States. That's crazy. I mean, global warming has to be real, and it's obviously created by man. Look at all these automobiles we have. Millions and millions, billions and billions and billions of automobiles are traveling on the road right now, burning fuel. Even the ones that aren't burning fuel, Guess what? When they made the plastic parts for that electric car, the emissions they put into the air from that would be just like having a gasoline car for a lifetime. So you get people that, well, I got an electric car and there's no emissions from this thing. Well, yeah, there were some emissions to create it. The only place out of the country that I've been to is Canada. Specifically Windsor, Canada, which is just on the other side of Detroit. And you can drive there from here in about 5 hours. Although Ohio and Canada doesn't share a border, we kind of do share a border via a body of water, Lake Erie, with the lakes and such. But there's no direct path from Ohio to Canada. You have to go through Michigan. Toronto. I watch a few YouTubers who do like, much like myself, obviously they're more established YouTubers, more professional, and they walk around Toronto, and it's a pretty awesome looking city. I'm about to go back down here in the shade for a minute. Tell you, that sun is blistering. Ugh. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to say, definitively what country is best. You know, people, you can argue that the United States is one of the most, if not the most freest country, but at the end of the day, if you buy a house, you can buy a house and own that house for 20 years. If the government decides they want to build a highway and your house is in that path, they're going to do whatever they can do, and they will get it from you one way or the other. So even owning land in this country, you never truly own it, because at any given time, government could just take it from you, and they have. My family, like I said, migrated from Lithuania. We're going to go ahead and walk back the other way. Migrated from Lithuania to Poland and Germany. My grandmother's maiden name was Bodnik. Which I guess is a surname derived from Botnica, which means shoemaker. But my family has been established here in the States as far back as I can find information on, as far back as 1837. Botnik or Bodnik. We could have actually walked to that bridge down there, crossed that bridge, and came back the other way on this side, and it basically loops back around. Yeah, it's like a no, it's spelled, I think, like Bough, Nik or something like that. Bonnik. It's a very, very German last name. Adler. That sounds very Irish. Strasbourg. You ever heard of Bald and Bankrupt? He does a lot of traveling. This area here in Ohio was home to the Miami Indians. That's why the river got its name, the Great Miami River. And I believe the word Miami means Great River. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was reading in the mid 1850s that there was a mass exodus from Germany to the United States. I was sitting in the house last night and I heard crackle, 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 pop, crackle, pop. And I thought, uh-oh, there is a tree about to break apart. And when you have a big tree, like several trees that overhang your house, when you hear a noise like that, you take cover. I didn't per se take cover, but I definitely got away from any windows. And then I went outside, I didn't see anything. So I must be hearing things. And I woke up this morning and a big piece of tree broke apart. He's got a pretty witty sense of humor, that bald and bankrupt. He does things I could never do. I could never travel to some random country and make friends like he does. I don't have that kind of personality. I can't remember what country he goes to. He goes to one country and he has he's wearing a business suit and he's got a briefcase full of coke leaves. The guy is something else. Remember they arrested him in Russia, and I guess he was kicked out of Russia. I would like to visit Germany and Poland, and as mentioned, Russia, Ukraine, Colombia. I haven't been to Mexico. I've been to Tijuana. Yes, Cincinnati is definitely very German. The architecture, a lot of people in Cincinnati are of German descent. And that's why they call it the Over the Rhine neighborhood. Because much like Dayton, Cincinnati also had a canal. And that canal was in the Over the Rhine neighborhood. And that's why they called it Over the Rhine, because once you crossed over the bridge, over the canal, you entered from one neighborhood to another. That'd be fun, the Dominican Republic. Cincinnati has the largest abandoned underground rail system in the United States. I'm not sure of the exact years, but at some point in Cincinnati's history, they began to build this massive underground rail system, but ran out of money, so they abandoned the project, and it remains empty today. You can actually go on YouTube and find some urban exploration. You know, the underground train stations are still there, and it's pretty interesting. "50 years. I appreciate everybody joining today's live stream. Hopefully it's a little bit smoother, not as bouncy. I gave $30 for this stabilizer here. But I did some research on this particular product, and when it was released in 2021, it was like the best option that you could buy. And even today, very usable product. I had looked at some on eBay that were relatively inexpensive, but when I got to looking into the actual specs, they have brushed motors. If you're familiar with electronic motors, you don't want brushed, you want brushless. I would love to visit Gibraltar. I don't know why I've always been fascinated with that place. I think it's the architecture, just the orientation of the city, how it's kind of like on a cliff on one side, the ocean on the other. Just really interesting. Gibraltar. It's technically it's in Spain, but it's controlled by England. What's odd is I found this on Facebook Marketplace for 25 bucks. Once I met the guy at a local business. Cool guy, easy transaction. I get it home and then I go on eBay, and you can actually buy this gimbal brand new for like 40 bucks. If you're watching this now or in replay and you're a small YouTuber and you're having the issue I have with the streaming apps not wanting to recognize your device's stabilization, get a Smooth Q3, a Xeon Smooth Q3, and they have an official an official eBay store. I have a bracket coming in the mail from China, probably. Actually, it says it's coming from Joplin, Missouri, but I've had items from eBay say it's coming from one place, but actually come from another. But anyway, at any rate, it's a bracket that you put on your bike, and it's supposed to be so you can attach a smartphone gimbal to the handlebars. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this gimbal here in my hand once I get this bracket, and I'm going to test it on the bike. And if it works, then I'm going to use this gimbal specifically for bike live streams, and then I'm going to get a new one from eBay. That way I have one dedicated for each. That's just my idea. How you doing? It's warm out here, ain't it?
Yeah.
Mugginess. Too muggy. Darn it. I'd like to visit Colombia. I swear, everybody I've met from Colombia, they have some of the coolest personalities. And Puerto Ricans, I'd love to visit Puerto Rico, which a lot of Americans aren't aware that because Puerto Rico is, shoot, I don't know what the terminology. Anyway, Puerto Rico, you can actually visit Puerto Rico. If you're an American, you can visit Puerto Rico without a passport. You can hop on a plane right now and go to Puerto Rico. Yeah, yeah, they definitely do. A friend of mine moved to Thailand because it's just cheaper to live out there. There's downtown Dayton again. It used to be cheap to live here. Hello. It's a shame somebody stole the plaque up there. Look at that cool little convertible. Heck yeah, listen to Ray. He knows what he's talking about. Tell him, Ray, smash that like button. Hey, look, I got 6 people watching, but I have 8 likes. That's like a record for real. Normally when I do a live stream, the likes that I see on the screen here are usually like 3 or 4. But obviously, the better the footage, the better the interaction you're going to get from your viewers. So hopefully it's because it's smoother. Wow. Yeah, but isn't Thailand the kind of place, in your cities at least, where it's very walkable or you can ride a bike? I'm starting to see a pattern here. People are starting to realize how efficient cycling really is. I'm starting to see more and more people around here in Dayton, Ohio, picking up bicycles, riding bicycles. As you see right now, the river is a little bit down. But when the river is up and you can't see those little islands that you see now, those little patches of grass, that dam there creates one strong undercurrent. This river naturally has a very strong undercurrent. And what you see on the surface may look calm and mellow, but that undercurrent is what tricks a lot of people. And it's that undercurrent that gets people caught up. That undercurrent can be so strong at times, you might be in water not even up to your knees and get swept away. No, that's not the Ohio River, that's the Great Miami River. That's the Great Miami River, named after the Miami Indians. This river and this region, known as the Miami Valley, become its name long before the city of Miami, Florida. Cool. The Ohio River is about 45 minutes from here to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour south of here. The Great Miami River runs into the Ohio River. The Ohio River runs to the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River runs to the Gulf of Mexico, or Gulf of America, whatever you want to call it. It'll always be the Gulf of Mexico, for me anyway. They, for the last half a decade or better, those geese, they normally would exit Dayton, Ohio, exit this area during winter because it was just generally too cold for them. But in recent years, it hasn't been so cold that they feel the need to go further south, so they stay here all winter. However, last winter was a little bit different. Last winter, we actually had a winter. It snowed, it was cold. Even Trump supporters, still call it the Gulf of Mexico. It's just in our nature. We have called it the Gulf of Mexico for how long now? I mean, I can't speak for anyone else, but I've been on Earth a half a century, and I've been going to school. I went to school by the time I was 5. It's always been the Gulf of Mexico. Although, when I lived in Florida, I lived on the Gulf of Mexico. I think it would have been nicer to be able to call it the Gulf of America, though. Well, this right here is the Gulf of Dayton, Ohio. It's the Miami River, where the Miami Indians would have foraged for food and done their fishing and got their drinking water. I appreciate everybody coming in to watch today's live stream. I like that I can do this and showcase where I live, the city that I'm proud of, to with individuals from all around the world. Thanks, Carl. Feels good here under the shade. Did you know the London Bridge is in some desert in Arizona, United States? Awesome. Thank you, Ray. A lot of my subscribers are individuals who used to live in Dayton and enjoy seeing the things that they used to see. A lot of my subscribers are also elderly individuals, some who live abroad, some still live here in Dayton, Ohio, but they don't have the mobility to get out and see the things that they used to. And it makes me, it tickles me to be able to provide, visuals of what they used to be able to get out and see on their own. Yeah, there's a London Bridge in London, but I think the original London Bridge is literally in the desert of Arizona. You can look it up. The London Bridge, one day, somebody said, the London Bridge is falling. It's real this time. It's really happening. And they're like, well, we can't have that. We're going to put it somewhere else. We're sick of this bridge. It keeps falling down. We're going to send it to the Americans. Let them deal with it. Yeah, walking and talking, yeah. Not riding and talking, but yeah, walking and talking. I think I mentioned this in a previous live stream. What actually encouraged me and inspired me to start my own YouTube channel is because I have an elderly family member who cannot get out of the house and get out and see things that they used to see. But I can bring the things that they used to see to them via video. And it gave me the bright idea, wow, I could not only appease to them and bring them visual depictions of what they used to be able to see, but I can upload that to YouTube. And millions of people can see the city of Dayton, Ohio, and a lot of those people, like my family member who can't get out, can have the opportunity to see things that they haven't been able to see in years. All the ball fields are back behind us. You're talking about McCook Field. I've been to Texas a few times. I stopped at one of these little street food vendors, and they were making hot dogs wrapped in bacon and deep frying them. Oh, they were so delicious. Anything with bacon. Bacon makes everything better almost, except for maybe ice cream. Although I haven't tried it, bacon bits might actually taste good in ice cream. It depends on what flavor it is, I guess. A lot of people don't know, but not too far from here, the city of Cincinnati used to be the pork capital. I'm not too sure if it was the pork capital of the world, but definitely the pork capital of the United States. So at the turn of the 20th century, if you lived in Los Angeles and you bought a slab of pork, it probably came from Cincinnati. Pork town. I bought one myself. From a Facebook marketplace. Why do you notice it looking better and smoother and not so bouncy? Can't wait to find me some shade. It is toasty out here. European by nature. I like to walk on the left. Don't mind me, just a tourist. Got a big old flower. Don't know what kind of flower it is, but pretty cool. Maybe someday comedian and actor Tom Green will actually invent smell-o-vision. A lot of people don't realize Tom Green, the comedian and actor, Canadian comedian and actor, actually pretty much invented podcasting. He's the one who, he didn't necessarily invent it, but he's the one who popularized podcasting. He's like the podcast godfather. Tom Green, the Canadian, eh? You know what? Good. They'll get over it. There's plenty of room. We come from France. If you've ever watched the Coneheads movie, you'll know where I got that that saying from. Aliens with the big cone heads. They're like, where are you from? He says, we come from France. So this right here is one of the water sprayer features, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, what you see here where it says 1913, that's the flood line. Back in 1913, the river overflowed its banks, and as you can see, that's the flood line. Flooded the downtown area, surrounding neighborhoods. So this right here, this is the Mad River, and it is flowing into the Great Miami River. Yes, I come from France. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. Look, you know what? There's some shade right here. This footbridge here, they rebuilt it about 5 years ago because the old one was getting deteriorated and oxidized. And as you can see, well, so is this one. And the reason why it's oxidizing is because of these water sprayers, like you see straight ahead. Well, it's called the Great Miami River because this area was once inhabited by the Miami Indians. No, Florida must like us because, as I mentioned, the Great Miami River and the Miami Valley region was named long before Miami was even conceived. This area got its name, the Miami Valley. This river became the Miami River before the founding of the city of Miami. You gotta think Dayton, Ohio is a pretty old city. Yeah, there's some trains that go through Dayton. Like CSX, and I think Pennsylvania Railway. I don't think the Baltimore, Ohio goes through here anymore. Sit this down for a moment. think it's neat that people put these padlocks on here. Oh, look. Wow, they left a gift. A green marker. I wonder if it works. It's green. It's a green paint marker. That one looks old. I remember these things getting into my locker in school. This is a really cool lot. Or maybe it's not that old. That looks old. It says forever love. Aw. That's right. That's right. This is the original Miami. They copied us. They thought Miami River and the Miami Valley, man, that's a cool name. And that's how Miami got named. Yeah, I wish Randy knew. I wish I can get the the rights to that song from Randy Newman, so I could add like a snippet of it to all my videos. Ooh, that was cool. Do you guys hear that? I don't know if you guys heard that or not. There's a big fish flopping over there. Well, hey everybody, I appreciate everybody tuning in to watch today's live stream. I appreciate all your support. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. Maybe we'll do another one here in the upcoming week, but I heard it's supposed to rain most of the week, so maybe not. Hey does. Best places to enter. To enter underwater. Shoot, really anywhere. You're allowed to canoe and stuff in the river. But there are some dams, so I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think, probably not. Everything is behind a paywall nowadays. Thank you, Carl, you too. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I hope everybody has a blessed week ahead. Until next time.